Stars are such a popular logo element because they signify brightness and excellence. And what company doesn't want to be associated with excellence? We can control the number of points on a star, how round or sharp their points. We can make them into sunbursts, or we can create blunted stars from rectangles. Let's start with the basics of working with stars. The star tool is located on the same tool space as the rectangle tool. If you want to draw it from the center point outwards, in this case from the intersection of those guides, hold down Option or Alt. And if you want it constrained to a horizontal plane, hold down the Shift key. And if you want to add points to your star, press your up arrow or your down arrow to remove points. And if you want to affect the second radius, hold down the Command or Control key. This is all while you have your mouse button held down, and pull in or out. If you want to reposition the star while you're drawing it with the mouse key held down, hold down the space bar and drag it to a new location. Once the star has been drawn, I'm going to now turn off the guides. Let's zoom in on that point, and I'm going to switch from a fill to a stroke because I want you to see how the stroke joins can affect the star. I'll come and click on the stroke property. I want a round corner join in this case. We can also round the edges of the shape by coming to the direct selection tool, and we can then pull the targets to the center of the shape. If you're working with an earlier version of Illustrator, you won't have that option, in which case you can come to the Effect menu, Stylize, Round Corners. Let's say that you wanted to use the star as a clipping shape, in this case for a piece of type. I will position the type where I want it to go. Now I want the portion of type that overlaps the star to be clipped. So I will select the star, copy that, Command or Control C, select the letter, paste the star in front, Command or Control F, hold down the Shift key and extend the selection to the letter. From the Object menu, I can choose Clipping Mask, Make. If I need to edit the contents of the clipping mask, I can come to the Clip group on the Properties panel, and then I can move it or do whatever else I need to the contents of the clipping group. If I want to create a starburst, here I'm beginning with a 10-pointed star. I'll choose my line tool. I'm going to zoom in, and then working with my smart guides, I'm going to draw a line from anchor point at the top to anchor point at the bottom. With that line selected, double click on the rotate tool. I will rotate copies through 18 degrees. I'll press Command or Control D to repeat that transformation. I now need to delete these portions that go outside of the star shape. I'll select everything, come to my shape builder, hold down my Alt key, and click on each of those lines to delete them. I'll now set the stroke property to none and come and choose the live paint bucket. Click on that. I'll now make it into a live paint group. You see that each of those segments can be colored individually. I'll come to the swatches panel, and on the swatches panel, I have a color group. I'm going to use the orange on the left and then the yellow on the right of each of those points on the star. There's my starburst. I could go further with that. If I select it, copy it, paste it in front, and then we want to rotate it numerically. I want to rotate it through 18 degrees, making a copy. And I'm going to reduce the size of that copy from the center point. So I'm holding down Option and Shift as I pull in to reduce its size. Let's say that we wanted to make a blunt 6-pointed star. In this case, I'm going to start with just a rectangle. Double click on my rotate tool, and I will rotate copies through 120 degrees. Command or Control D to repeat that transformation. I could then select all 3 shapes, come to the Pathfinder, combine them into one. For an 8-pointed blunt star, double click on the rotate tool, rotate through 45 degrees, repeat the transformation, select all, combine them all into one. So there we have some very simple ideas for working with stars.